a new twist that we've never seen before. And this one, I am particularly excited for it. Hi, guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Okeumi. This is Life with Wumi, where you get unadulterated reviews on reality TV shows, movies, and you get to see what life is like with Wumi. Now, to why we are here, the most important business. I'm here to talk about the highlights between the live eviction show yesterday night till today evening. So I'm going to start with Chimsum's reign finally coming to an end. Honestly, I was beginning to get irritated at some point. It's okay to, try to use an iron hand, right? Because the housemates are literally stubborn people. But enforcing your own beliefs and values on the housemates is something that I did not stand for. A couple of times, Chisholm has tried to introduce devotion, has tried to introduce his religious beliefs into the housemate. And I don't have a problem with that as long as the housemates consent to it, because you are not there to enforce your own rules and opinions on them. You are there to project Biggie's rules and his duties for them to follow suit. So, I mean, I like the fact that Ricky called him out yesterday on some of the things that he does that are bizarre. Because, yes, it's okay to say, oh, Biggie wants us to do this. But it's not okay to say, I want it. And because I want it, you must do it, because you are basically there in position of big brother to enforce the things that Big Brother is giving to you directly and coordinate and guide the housemate. So I didn't like that. Most of the times he was trying to enforce his own beliefs and his own values on the housemates. But aside that, I think he did a great job handling this stubborn housemate. But I'm finally glad that his reign is over. Now, what I'm looking forward to is seeing him at the back seat, like not being a leader, because it's easy to lead people and want them to obey you, but when you are in the position of being a follower, how you behave can tell me if you are actually a good leader or a good person. So I'm looking forward to seeing him, behave as an housemate when somebody else is the head of house. That is just something I'm looking forward to. Now back to the business of today. I'm so excited because the head of house game, a female warning, not just because a female warning, but she's my person. She's someone that I'm like, okay, looking at her personality, looking at if she's someone I want to root for. And she's giving me so many more reasons to, root for her, because I mean, at the end of the day, she has a bubbly personality. And now seeing that she has a competitive spirit, it just crowns it off for me. And yeah, it's no other person than Sheba. So Sheba won the head of house games today, closely followed by Bluetophia. Bluetophia was second to the winner, but I think this season, this week, Big Brother did not assign deputy, so Bluetophia was not assigned to be a deputy. But I think she also deserves some accolades because she was this close to also winning the head of house. The head of house games today was quite challenging, and I'm super proud of them for actually making it to the top, and Sheba especially for getting to the finals and winning the head of house game. And so Biggie brought a new twist after the head of house game, that after every head of house game, the last position or the last person to finish the task, right, will be crowned the bench warmer of the house. And they will not just only be the bench warmer, they will not be able to get, they will not get the power of saving because they're the bench warmer. So if there's a veto power or somebody has to save somebody, they cannot be saved. They would automatically be up for possible eviction. And they will also be given a bench to sit on. And that bench is so funny looking. And so this week's head of house game, Nomy finished last, and so she was crowned the bench warmer for the week. Now, the twist is that it's not business as usual. Usually after the head of house game, the housemates go into the diary room and pick two housemates that they want to nominate, and then Big Brother collates the list, and the highest form of nominations gets put up for possible eviction for the rest of the week. But this time around, Big Brother called the housemates and gave them 30 seconds to decide on three housemates that they would like to save. That was the twist. He didn't ask them, who do you want to nominate? It is, who do you want to save apart from yourself? So they were not allowed to mention their names, but they were allowed to save three people. And so I am going to put the nomination list, how they voted for who they want to be saved below. And before then, he had also asked them who they would like to be evicted from the show. And they all collectively decided, oh, who do you want to evict? It was a fast-paced situation. And so after the housemates have voted on who they would like to save, the names were collated, and there were four people on the list. It was Godessa, Barry, Casi, and Tram. So head of house Sheba was called into the diary room to actually use her veto power to save one person from the list of people that were not originally saved by the housemates and replace the person with someone who is already saved from the list of the people generated by the housemate. Now, I was quite shocked at Sheba's choice because I expected her to be very strategic with her choice. She chose to save Casi. She chose to remove Casi, put Casi up for eviction, and replace him with Chimsum to be saved. I get her reason. I don't know her reason, but I think her reason is that because Chimsum was not allowed to participate in the head of house game, he wasn't given the chance to play because obviously he was head of house last week. So maybe that's why she put him up. She tried to save him this week. But girl, if there's anybody in that house that is gunning for that 160 million as bad as you are, it's Chimsum. And he has chances of getting it. So I don't think I will be using my emotions to think. I will be using my brain to think when I'm voting. And vote someone that is my closest competitor to be out and put someone that would least challenge me um, um, going on in the season. But like I said, these housemates, when they're in the house, they can barely think of the money. They are majorly blinded by emotions and some other factors. But anyways, so now currently the housemates that are saved, the only housemates that are not up for possible eviction is the head of house Sheba and the four people that the housemates voted: Trump, Godessa, Chimsum, and Barry. So those are the five housemates. The other housemates, aside from those five people I've listed, they're up for possible eviction. And so you, as a viewer and fan of the show, have the whole week to vote for your favorite housemates that you'd like to see on the show progressing to the end of the season. And you have the right to also vote out who you don't like on the show. The ball is in your court. Now, let's talk about the other twist in as regards to prize money. In my video yesterday, I mentioned that Ebuka said something about the prize money, but I wasn't really clear on what it said. And today, Big Brother took his time to explain what he said. And so he talked about the 100 million is the cash prize, but it's not going to go home all to the winner. The price remains as long as the housemates behave well. I don't know the behavior aspect, what the housemates have to do to keep the money and what they don't have to do to not keep the money. So I think based on their actions and inactions in obeying Biggie's rules and complying, they get to keep the money, right? But if they do any slight thing against Biggie's rules, the money will be deducted. And now the money that will be deducted, let's say now they do something, they get a strike or they broke something or they damage Big Brother's property. Big Brother can remove 50,000 or 100,000 from the 100 million cash prize, and it will be put into a money pot. All the money will be put into a money pot from the deductions based on their behaviors and actions all through the season, right? That money pot now, every week, the housemates will vote for for one most influential player of the week. That's the most influential housemate of the week in terms of how they behave themselves, how they complied, how they interacted with people. Basically, they get to choose who their influential player of the week is. And the highest vote, right, will become the influential player of the week. Now, at the end of the season, all the people that have won influential players from week 1 to the last week on the show would get to distribute the money that was accumulated in the money pot and share it amongst themselves. For example, if the total money in the money pot from the cash prize is 50 million and the rest of the cash prize for the winner is 50 million, at the end of the season, that 50 million naira will be split amongst the most influential housemates that have been voted each week for the season. I hope that is clear. And I'm excited about the twist. At least, I mean, everybody gets to, take something home at the end of the day. So it all depends on how they behave themselves. It all depends on how they comport themselves all through the season. If they're smart enough, they will behave wisely so that they can get the prize at the end of the show. If not, at the end of the day, the winner might go home with nothing but 1 naira. Let's just hope that they're able to comply with Biggie's rules. Now to the other side quest in the house. Big Brother gave them a task today to show themselves, basically display their talent. And I was super impressed. And it just made me realize that all single housemates are talented, every single one of them. Now, something happened earlier. Each of the housemates requested for props that they would like to use to display their talent. Some of them requested for decoration items, food items, and things like depending on the talent that they wanted to display. And Mercedes had requested from Big Brother that she wanted a pole, right? And Big Brother did not give her a pole, and then she started being disrespectful to the Big Brother, saying, "Why won't you give her a pole?" And literally, when she was coming into the show, she actually brought her own pole. They did not allow her to bring it inside the house, and now she wanted to display her talent. Everybody, Big Brother knew she was a pole dancer when he brought her on the show. So why didn't he bring her pole pull for her. And Big Brother addressed that, saying that she was disrespectful, and that there are times that you make requests on the show and Big Brother would not grant them. It doesn't give you room to disrespect Big Brother. She apologized for it and he let it slide. Hopefully, these housemates learn their lesson that you don't always get what you want, and that doesn't mean that I'm a bad person at the end of the day. So it was a beautiful presentation. Honestly, I am super, super impressed, especially with Abby. Abby is one person that everybody has written out because of how she behaves in terms of her loudness and sometimes her annoying behavior. But she really, really impressed me. And not just me, a couple of the housemates were surprised at how much and how talented she is. She has been saying she's a chef, she does this, she does that. But like seeing it in action, hearing her speak Italian so fluently, seeing her, the aura she took into the kitchen, that truly she's a chef. She actually made an Italian dessert, and I was super impressed, to be honest. I didn't expect it. So many of the older housemates also impressed me tonight. I saw a lot of new talent, and I was super impressed. And I'm like, okay, you guys are actually not that bad. I mean, you have something up there. Now, let's talk about the love triangle in the house. There is something with Gerard and Kamsy, and there's something with Chimsum and Kamsy. Now, these two men are both aware that they like the same girl. But the problem is, Kamsy is falling more for the person that barely gives her attention. She's always complaining to Gerard that Gerard never comes to meet her. Gerard never puts in the effort, but she appears to now like Gerard more than Chimsum, that is always coming to her and always putting in the effort. And now it makes me feel like, women, what do you want? Like, what do you actually want? At the end of the day, it's still a choice to decide on who she's going to give her energy to. But at the end of the day, I feel like Gerard is going to break her heart. Chimsum is going to. Chimsum literally had requested for a partnership with her, but I feel like the turn off was that when he was requesting for a partnership, he made it look like we act like husband and wife, but we're not husband and wife. That's not a partnership. That is a situationship. And so now let's talk about the most important hit of the season, which was the argument and fight between Bells and Nomy. Um, Nomy has gotten into a fight with almost everybody in the house, right? And so obviously when there's a fight, because everybody's used to you being the fighter, even if you're on the right side sometimes, people are not going to take your side because it's just going to be like you're a difficult person. We already know you. It's you that definitely caused the fight. But with this one, I think it was Bells that actually triggered this fight because they were having a meeting right with Chimsum when he was still the head of us earlier in the day, and I think Nomi was trying to ask a question and Bells told her to shut up. And everybody were like, she's just asking a question. Can't she ask a question? And that's how they started going back and forth. Nomi started insulting her. That, why will you tell me to? You come and shut up my mouth for me now. And then the ugly, you are ugly. You can't stand me. I'm finer than you. Olumpa. Bro, Nomi has terribly bad mouth. And then I were going back and forth with the insults. And then Bells called Nomi a motherless hoe. Mind you, Nomi's mother is late and she has shared that information as per introduction. And I think that was really low for Bells to go there. It's okay. I know my mother is late, but you now using it like insulting an orphan and telling an orphan you're a motherless who. That was deep. And then Nomi fired back like times 1,000. Like when you say somebody went low, Nomi went to the gutter, to the depths of the ground. She insulted Bells, insulted her parents, insulted her generation, took her back to her father, mother's mother. After insulting Bells, she still gave Yusuf and Ricky straight bullets. She said that it's Yusuf that is deceiving you this past few days. That's why you're seeing that taking you abuse. Sometimes the insults that Nomi drops there, you think that she's insecure and she's jealous of these people, but she just goes through. Nomi is convinced that when you provoke her, she will go through any length to bring you down. Use all your generation, your past history, your current history. And I just think that that's really dirty. She has a kind of dark side that I do not like. But for some reasons, the housemates like it because they literally, voted to keep her in the house because they enjoy what she's bringing to the show. So, I mean, it's working in her favor. What do I know? Like I said earlier, there have been some couple of fights in the house, subtle fights. Chisom and Bluetophia had a misunderstanding because she feels like according to Bluetophia, Chimsum will come, shout at them in public, talk to them anyhow, and be saying that is the HOA speaking. Then he will not want to come and have friendly conversations with her and say, oh, now this is Chimsum speaking. And she's like, no, I don't mess with this. You can't do that. You can't come and be shouting at me in public, talking to me anyhow, and now come to me later in the evening, say, want to have a friendly conversation. It doesn't work that way for me. And you know, Chimsum is a sweet talker and kind of manipulative. The way he will now come back, no, now, I didn't mean to. I'm honestly so glad that Chimsum's reign is over because he really stressed me when he was the head of house. Now, you remember that during the live eviction show, Ebuka asked Martin some questions about, when he had the fight with Temi, he uttered something that some of you in this house are just kids. And so Ebuka was trying to rile him up. I don't think he answered that question intelligently because, you know, Ebuka was trying to rile him up to make him cause some certain type of drama. And if he was wise or smart enough, he could have just said, oh, I just said that in the heat of the moment. That would have been a simple answer. But no, he said, oh, yes, I think there are so many kids in this house. Okay, Ebuka said, go for that, list them. List them, say their names, and then he started calling names. He called Tramp, he called Temi, he called Oyin, he called Bluetophia, and a couple of other people. And so Trump really took it very personally that, oh, so I'm a kid to you and I act like a kid. And he even literally said that Trump actually acts his age. So, some people can find that very disrespectful. When you say you act, that means you act like a child because you're old. And so that's how Trump decided to interpret the situation. And do you know that Trump has been holding a grudge against Martins up until today, to the point that Martins even shook him or tried to shake him, and he did not take the handshake, and he took it personally like this. So if I'm a kid, then don't fuck with me, like don't mess with me in this house, since you have decided to turn me as a kid who acts his age. And to be honest, do you think that that is rather immature of Trump? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Also, the people that this housemate chose to save confused me because the people that we thought that were in a ship or triangle apparently did not save themselves. I was surprised that Neche decided to nominate Ricky to be up for eviction. That is strange for someone that he's your love interest. And our excuse was is a strong contender. Well, it's valid because to be honest, we always force people who use their emotions, right, to vote. And let's just say, let's accept that that is her reason. Also, Araga not voting Godessa up to be saved is the strangest of the strangest because somebody that you are constantly being intimate with in bed, doing things with, is your guyest guy in the house, and you had the opportunity to save one person or three people, and you did not even think of calling her name. I would love to hear his reasoning behind that later on during the direct session this week. I would want to hear it. And then Bell's not saving Yusuf also, I found that rather strange. But anyways, I have come to the end of today's reviews video. Let me know what you think about the triangle. Let me know what you think about Sheba's head of house reign in the house. Do you think she's going to do a good job? Do you think she's going to ace it? Let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section below. And who would you be voting to keep in the house for the nominations this week? Let me know that in the comment section today. We have come to the end of today's review. My name is Okewomi, and thank you for watching this video to the end. If you haven't subscribed, please do try to subscribe before you leave my channel and turn on your post notification bell so that when I post the new highlights video, you get to see them first. Have a wonderful day ahead.